1970s. The word has gained popularity among analysts and leaders looking at the challenges that global human society confronts. Polycrisis refers to the simultaneous occurrence of several crisis-level events, a list that includes pandemic, war, inflation, democratic decay, climate change, and more, that interact so that the whole is even more overwhelming than the sum of the parts. One of the lessons of studying history is that at many previous points in human existence, people have felt that their time was in some measure uniquely challenging and different from what had come before, that their era was a hinge period in human history. It is not surprising, therefore, that we might look at our moment and reach the same conclusion. Yet, whether or not there is something unique about our moment is beside the point. History has given us this collection of crises. Our collective response will be shaped by many people in many places and across generations. Thus, when I speak of crisis-shaped in this book, I am referring to the idea of polycrisis. My frame of reference for understanding these crises is primarily global, a crisis-shaped world. In this early part of the 21st century, humans are more connected to one another around the world than ever before. While different countries may have different local crises, my point of departure in this book is to understand this moment of polycrisis to be comprised of essentially three interlocking crises: climate, economics, and migration. Climate change, which I use as a shorthand to refer to a host of issues connected to a disordered relationship with creation, including pollution, environmental degradation, and biodiversity loss, is perhaps the greatest and most overriding consideration. The challenges it raises are, if not existential, of so great a magnitude that we are barely beginning to grasp them. Whole communities will be destroyed, patterns of life that we once depended on will be upended, and huge swaths of what we consider normal will be discarded. Indeed, all of this is happening now. Climate touches a whole host of other issues, and they are among the most basic to human existence. They include where we get the energy that powers our lives, how, what, and where we get the food that nourishes us, and how we relate to the natural world that surrounds us, even as we try to push it away. When I think of climate, I increasingly tell myself that the climate situation is likely to continue to worsen for the rest of my life. I can only hope it will be improving by the time my children reach the end of theirs. While there may once have been a time when market-based economics seemed a solution to many ills, that is no longer the case. The imperfections of the capitalist model and the form it has taken in recent decades, often called neoliberalism, are increasingly being revealed in inequality, the weakening of the public sphere, and perhaps most damagingly, the rise of a new set of denuded and debased values. Like climate, the dominance of this market-based model has implications in many other aspects of our lives, including how we govern ourselves, how we determine value, and how we relate to one another. Climate and economics are also related. The more we rely on a market-based model, the more we are driven to relate to our natural world in unsustainable and damaging ways. The more that climate change accelerates, the more that some people will take refuge in the self-protection mentality of the market. Migration may seem the odd one out on this list, but its place is central. It is not a new phenomenon, far from it. But what is new is that already there are more people on the move than at most previous periods in history, and the number seems set to only grow. As climate change renders some parts of the world uninhabitable and neoliberal economics increases inequality between regions of the world, more and more people will continue to leave behind their homes to seek opportunity in other places, whether within their own country or in another. Again, migration has tremendous influences elsewhere. It can create significant human suffering and impose new burdens both in the places that people leave and the places where they seek a new home. More broadly, current waves of migration are changing the demographics of Western societies and challenging human societies to grapple with new forms of difference and increased diversity. We are no longer able to live in siloed ignorance of one another in the way previous generations could. People of different cultures and backgrounds will continue to come together in new ways. These encounters can be profoundly generative and creative. They can also be deeply damaging and destructive. The ways in which these crises make themselves felt is different in different parts of the world.